friends and family. Hey, loved ones. Hey, gardeners and creators. How are you doing? So it's time to share again and show my care. Yeah, always. Through this process of all my ways. And so it's hard to know where to start sometimes. There's so much. And so that's why it's like getting into that beginner's mind again, that no mind with no time to be here once again, to die to what I know, what I think I know, and be reborn. Yeah, through not knowing, through the beginning, through going back to the beginning or returning, to where I am. Here I am. Here I am. I know I am. I am, and all I am. Just as I am, here as I am. Here I am. For all I am. Through all I am. For all I am. In all I am. With all I am. So just, embracing the full. Remembering it's okay not to know. And it's okay to let go. So going back to the beginning. To begin again. To be here right where I am. Yeah. And so it is time for a review. And been working with Alligator medicine and nudged to pick up Alligator again for digestion and assimilation and integration. And that has a lot to do with, considering different possibilities and probabilities and all angles of a situation, and to widen the perception, open up to other perspectives we may have overlooked or not allowed ourselves to see, and all that good stuff, all those good things. And so I'm just going to read a little bit from medicine cards again about Alligator integration. The powerful gift of Alligator medicine is to fully appreciate and integrate all that life offers. Gator shows us the value of thoroughly digesting both the pleasures and pains of life. And we've been doing that in every way this week. In many ways, Alligator's medicine is reflected in its behavior. When Gator rolls under the water with its prey, its message is to roll with the punches when being attacked by life circumstances. Carefully storing its prey under a log until the meat is tender teaches us about patience and proper timing. So that's what it's been all about, like right now. Proper timing and patience. And how well can I sit with the discomfort of not knowing? And how well can I just sit with the discomfort of being uncomfortable? And without needing to fix it or smooth it over or figure it out or get into my survival strategies or try and make it more comfortable for me or for we, for everyone. And trying to be all things to all beings. It's pretty silly. And just like realizing and noticing like when those strategies come up or when they're activated or when I might be cycling through them or carried away by them. And just noticing and, just knowing it's okay. Like, just keep doing what you're doing. Just do it more consciously. And so, that way it's like, okay, this is just something to play with, and something to help me, like, see where I might have been or I have been misdirecting my energy or, giving my power away or falling into clever stories and reinforcing pain and suffering. So, there's all that. So choosing to laugh when tangled in your own seriousness can immediately diffuse the stranglehold of anger and judgments, self-importance, and inflexibility. Once your rigidity is removed, you are free again to integrate the present set of circumstances, finding what you may have formerly overlooked. Then you can learn Gator's lessons on how to digest the value of any life lesson. Gator medicine people refrain from passing judgment until they have examined all the facts and seen all sides of any situation. It may be time to drop opinions and judgments so that the present situation can be fully understood. Gator might have surfaced in the river of your life to tell you to digest the situation at hand before making any rash moves. You could also be dealing with someone who is too serious or rigid. If this is the case, embrace your flexibility, knowing that you are expanding beyond your former limits, even if others are wallowing in their self-created quicksand. Have you been rushing through life and not taking the time to count your victories or digest your rites of passage? If so, it could be time to honor your progress, mindful that quick fix solutions do not support long-term goals. Avoid getting stuck in the duality and quagmire of the human judgment game. Use calm resolve. Review your healing process and life lessons, integrating the growth you have attained. And that's actually something that I've been doing this week in the last couple days. And also was listening to a podcast last night on Molly McCord's channel about certain energies through from October through December of this year. And I'm pretty sure there was a message there, and then another message on another podcast for Virgo that said, see how far you've come and acknowledge how far you've come. Acknowledge all you've overcome. And all the victories, all the small wins, and all the lessons learned. And bless those lessons and thank them, for the learning and the growth, that they've contributed to. And so that's, it's kind of fun, to see this again. And I also was writing in my journal earlier today after I practiced my Kundalini yoga today. And it'd been a couple days since I'd practiced. I gave myself a little breather time while I was on my period or experiencing my moon time flow, just to take it easy and just to let it go. And don't need to force myself to do anything. I can allow myself to rest. So I've been resting and reflecting and going within, going inward, doing my best to come back to me, to listen, to my heart and to my inner knowing. And just noticing when I get pulled back out and my attention is kind of drawn to what's happening on the outside or worrying about what's on the outside, I can bring it back to me. So for more clarity, for deeper insight and clarity, looking into me, into these things, so I can see all I need to see, and I can trust that it's all unfolding in divine timing. And so, with my Kundalini yoga today, I went back to that because I was feeling it. Let's do that today. Let's receive that and choose that for well-being. And I was super proud of myself, and I noticed the progress. Even just, I feel even stronger than I did last week. And even though I took a couple days break, I was able to complete the whole entire set, and I wasn't as I don't know, I don't get tired out from it, but feeling some of the challenges and the soreness and it was just all around easier, and I just felt stronger today. And there is even one thing that I noticed when I did the chant part of it, that my voice and my throat feels stronger now that it's loosening up. So it's been loosened up. So it's just awesome, to feel that and to know that and to acknowledge that, progress, and that, and that, pride of accomplishment, being proud of showing up and doing my best and being willing, just being willing to show up and do my best and not telling myself what that has to look like. And so it's healthy competition with myself rather than divided competition, which I want to go into and I want to speak about, and we'll see how that wants to come about. Here's just a little more about Gator. So review your healing process and your life lessons, integrating the growth you have attained. In all cases, Gator is telling you that something may have escaped your perception. Ask yourself what viewpoint or possibility did not get factored into your assessment. And which is funny too, because I've been going back to review some of my videos, and I was watching some of my videos before I did the reality assessment video, and I'm in the middle of that one, which is kind of cool. Yeah, trying to get my best assessment of my current situation. So, did that missing piece of the puzzle keep you from having an accurate overview of what is now occurring? If so, it is never too late to reevaluate the situation from a more integrated and flexible point of view. Remember, Gator's eyes and nostrils are often the only parts of its body above water while it senses its surroundings. Gator integrates all probabilities before it makes its move. And so that's just helping me to kind of like, oh yeah, I just get to relax and I get to float here in the water and I get to just watch and observe. Yeah. And I get to be patient and I just get to see, what I get to see and do my own thing and pay attention and just trust myself that I'll receive what I need. And I'm willing to see what I need to see, and I'm willing to let go of attachments to everything. And that's easier said than done, and it's a work in progress and a work in practice, and just willing to play with it and play back. And so, contrary alligator often signals a time to laugh in the face of conflict in order to survive. If Gator's belly is floating exposed on top of the water, it could mean that rash actions or thoughtless words have put you in jeopardy. Gator's treacherous jaws warn you not to fall prey to quick fix solutions or schemes. If contrary, Gator's bite has severed an artery that fed you life force, a band-aid will not cure your present situation. Integrate stable long-term solutions and options. Which, that's what I'm being encouraged to do and to choose and to create long-term solutions. So, that has to do a lot with parallel structures and building systems, true, full systems that honor the integrity of the whole. And that's, part of my work and part of my path. So, if you have been inflexible or judgmental, detach from the muddied thinking or clouded feelings that have imprisoned your progress. In all cases, Gator reminds you to scan more than the surface, integrating all possibilities, potential risks, unexpected outcomes, and ultimate rewards. If you integrate all these viewpoints, it becomes easier to roll over and come out on top. So, thank you, Gator Medicine. Thank you, Alligator. See you later, Alligator. This is Medicine Cards, Jamie Sams, and David Carson. And so, I super enjoy working with the totems and the animals and my wise teachers and companions. And there was also another deck that I saw this week that I really super want. It's the Animal Spirit Oracle deck. And I totally gonna ask to receive that. I'm gonna open to that. Because, man, I just love it. There's nothing, that I love more than, like, the animals and their connection and their reflection that they help me, like, become aware of and see. So I can see everything within me, all these beautiful qualities and these gifts, that they hold and embody and teach. And so grateful for them, grateful for all my allies, helpers, guides and companions, teachers and friends. And so there's a lot of things that relate to alligator medicine and the river and being in the water and all that, the patience and the trust and faith and grace and everything that relates. And so, there's so many fun things what wants to be shared and said. I feel like now I'll just kind of go into some art and creativity and we'll see where that leads. And so this has been sitting here for a little while, a couple weeks maybe, and it's just one painting that was drying when I did my other orange, blues, yellows, blues, like I was playing those with those a couple weeks ago. And this was just the last one that, yeah, took the longest to dry. And I really like that, and had no idea, like, it was gonna turn out and be that, but yeah, that's just what it was. And just playing around and letting my inner child and wild women, like, collaborate and create, share space. Yeah. So that's fun. And also, like, there is something that came up with this because there's so much that's come in, like so many streams and so many ahas and things. This in the last, well. I mean, it's always happening, but in this last week or so. So the night of my equinox circle that I had, I was just kind of enjoying the space that I had set up, my space, my set and setting, my little stage, and yeah, for our play, and was just kind of drawn over to this piece that I had created. This was like my second mixed media piece that I'd ever done, and just kind of, yeah, because I've been playing with the chakras and things and different colors, and the peacock, the cock, my spirit animal, the cock, to help me unblock the cock block. And yeah, I was just kind of looking at some of the symbols that I had glued on here, and there's a couple that have fallen off since then that I may go back and glue back on. But I was looking at this one over here, and I'm not sure, I don't think you'll be able to see that, but what that is a picture of Medusa. And yeah, she actually has a tranquil, calm, wise, like knowing face in this in this image, and it is white. And I feel like, yeah, that symbolizes the clear image of yeah, God's vision when he looks in the mirror. But yeah, that's interesting. Like, Medusa's been coming up, and the story of Medusa's been coming up for the last little while for me. And she also has to do with, she relates and corresponds to Athena and Sophia and wisdom and the warrior. And so that's all coming up. And I did get like a little story that night about Medusa and about the monster and about like trickery, deceit, and yeah, like deception and manipulation and self-doubt, yeah, and self-loathing, yeah, and believing like the lies that we're told about ourselves, and then buying into those lies and believing that we're the monster, you know. And so it was so super interesting, like the story that came in, and I was like, wait, and it was like just a quick little like download, and I just started writing about like the story, and I got, yeah, something profound that I needed for me. And it did kind of show me how, like, it goes along with my scapegoat and all the words that were on that scapegoat, the labels, the descriptions, or the scripts that we play, and because we played into those roles, yeah, unconsciously, in certain ways, and in many ways, in multiple ways, yeah, unconscious and conscious ways. And so it did like really hit home for me about like, yeah, why do I believe all this garbage? Like, I know it's not true, but like, yeah, the programming, we've been so programmed, and we are being so programmed. Like, so just like bring awareness to that, like that we are very highly programmable, and we're being programmed all the time. And if we're not programming ourselves in our own minds, then someone else is doing it for us. And so that's good to be aware of and good to know. Yeah. Good to pay attention to, like, what programs are running and how are we being programmed, and what programs are we tuning into, and what programs are being activated, and what programs are we choosing, and yeah, what programs are we not even aware of. And yeah, Like, how do those things play into some of our stories and the patterns that we perpetuate? And yeah, sometimes it does have a lot to do with opinions, judgments, and preconceived notions of, yeah, um, and the signal reactions that certain words or certain concepts or certain ideas or certain symbols can trigger and activate. And so, yeah, just looking at like all of these things and also like the death and rebirth cycles and continuity, regeneration, and reviewing all these things. And so we'll just flip open my old journal. Listening, pain, and sin are erased. Suni I. Liberation, peace, joy, wellness, prosperity, freedom, balance, respect, love, devotion, self-love, and self-mastery. Welcome home, well done, encouragement, and joy from the depths of one's being. Precious and priceless value and appreciation, humility, faith, and generosity, trust, willingness, surrender. So be. The dove, the star, the heart, the whole, the flower, the blossom, the jewels. Fire, water, love's eternal truth, the black light, her gentle eyes, new ways of truly, fully seeing ourselves and our creations, our sovereign nations, our sovereign selves, our new knowing coming home to ourselves. I bless, praise, and thank all that's falling away. I surrender and let go to appreciate and honor the value of the lessons, gifts, and growth, for helping me to remember to trust and let go. Open, soften, receive, open, soften, let go, and be free. Cornucopia, the bee and the sweetness of life, enjoying the delights of life and all the fruits of our labors, through sharing all we are with all that we are, spirit, self, and the world soul, the arc, the circle, the spiral, and the bridge. Oh, so the luminous child, living light, the great heart of Creator, the fullness of life, the sacred fire, holy waters, overflowing cup, in love with love, for love through love. I am love, we are love. The pulse of life, the cosmic web, the jewels in the lotus, the jewels of the web, the jewels sparkling endlessly through Indra's net, all the faucets, all the diamonds, all the love, many expressions of the one true love, Creator and creation. I am one, we are one, she is one, love is one. Fifth dimensional earth, beloved spirit, holy soul, in reunion, heroes, gamos, emerging, we are all one. Sophia Christos, oh, how I love and adore thee and your sweet, generous, loving bounty. Thank you for all that we are. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Gathering, loving, blessing, thanking, releasing, and surrendering. The love essentials. Love is who we are. I accept and allow the parts of me and we that do not know. Thank you, bless you. I accept and allow the parts of me and we that do know. Thank you, bless you. I am grateful. So making peace with the parts of me that do know and with the parts of me that don't know, and knowing that they're both right to be. Yeah. And so September. Yeah, I was going to try and find that little story about Medusa. It was just a short little thing, but it was very potent. A potent gift. So here it is, yeah. So I wrote this on the 20th, and I remembered that if stories come to you, care for them, because that's how we can care for ourselves. And so I didn't just like write it off as, oh, that's interesting, and brush it off, but I was just like, oh, this is a gift for me to receive right now. And so this is what came through. It said, Medusa was a great warrior. She wore the heads of the snake-like demon parasites that she easily slayed. She wore them like proud trophies and was, fierce and dreaded like no other warrior that the earth had ever seen. She was overcome by tricks and deceit and was made to believe that she was one of them, the snake-like parasites. Yeah, and that's how they chopped off her head. They made her the monster instead. She had to forget herself and then come back from the world of the dead to the land of the living. Life is forgiving, and love isn't always easy to see. yeah, there was some things encoded in there. And that is interesting because that's what I keep writing about today. Yeah, that life is forgiving. And yeah, even if like I've been a little upset or feeling angry with those who are forgetting or deep in their forgetting, where they think life is forgetting instead of forgiving, like allow the space for that to be. Yeah, and I can neutralize that for me. I can neutralize that charge and reclaim my energy and know that I'm the one that's in charge of me, and I can let the rest go and let the rest be and just worry. Yeah, focus my energy on what I get to choose for me rather than what others are choosing or what others are open and willing to receive. Just let it be. And so yeah, I did write a bunch about certain conflicts or inner conflicts that I was having, and a certain situation that came up that kind of brought up a lot of self-doubt and feelings of mistrust, and kind of a reflection of the wounds of the divine feminine that I have chosen to heal within myself, chosen to acknowledge and attend to, and just seeing certain themes around those wounds and what they mean to me or how I see them. And so making room and making space for the dual nature and for the whole, and also like realizing that when we are coming into balance, we are shown that all that which has been in imbalance or through like excesses and deficiencies and rejection and sometimes ignorance and an unwillingness to see because of fear, worry, doubt, insecurity, and the ego playing games, to reinforce itself in its own position and prop up its own false image. And so like looking at how like sometimes we can tend to vilify others, or we can vilify ourselves, or sometimes we have that ego need, that strategy to make someone else wrong so that we can play the right one and justify ourselves and justify our actions and justify our behavior or our choices or our own stories. And so it is kind of just really funny in a lot of ways. And some things like actually do relate to that, where my last video I was kind of writing and asking myself some questions like, why is it so fun to be clever but so scary to be to be brilliant? To shine our light and to allow spirit to move through us and be that mouthpiece, for the light. And just kind of like playing with myself and asking myself these questions and willing to like just be curious and allow it to be played out and just watch and witness. And so I had just got a nudge to pick up like these two books again. So Crucial Conversations, Tools for Talking When the Stakes Are High. My ambassador is all about that right now. Like, how in the fuck do we talk with each other? Like, we're so trigger happy, like, right now. It's just silly. And so, trying to come back to myself and create a safe space, like, so that we can, like, have a container that feels and is safe, to look at these things that are really hard to see, they're really hard to look at, and they're really hard to speak about as well sometimes. And so, just kind of looking into things, and I had flipped open to this chapter, Master My Stories, but it was just so funny. The page that I happened to flip open to was 106, and it says, watch for 3 clever stories. And so I just thought that was so great. Like, ooh, it's about being clever, because that's been a little theme that's been coming up. Here's being so clever, trying to be so clever. Yeah, playing that clever role. Yeah, that sage. And so, yeah, the sage and the crone and death and rebirth, yeah, from the Dreams of Gaia tarot have been re-emerging again. And yeah, they've been really potent messages for me to digest and assimilate this month, this cycle, this week. And so, yeah, it's kind of fun and interesting. Like, the messages that are in those cards totally relate to all the things I'm working with and playing through right now. And so, watch for 3 clever stories. And one is the victim story, that it's not my fault. And then another is the villain story, where it's all your fault. And then the helpless stories, there's nothing else that I can do. Yeah. And why we tell clever stories. And so it was just so interesting. Why do we tell clever stories? Because they match reality. Sometimes the stories we tell are accurate. The other person is trying to cause us harm. We are innocent victims, or maybe we really can't do much about the problem. It can happen. It's not common, but it can happen. And the other reason is they get us off the hook. More often than not, our conclusions transform from reasonable explanations to clever stories when they conveniently excuse us from any responsibility, when in reality we have been partially responsible. The other person isn't bad and wrong, and we aren't right and good. The truth lies somewhere in the middle. However, if we can make others out as wrong and ourselves out as right, then we're off the hook. Better yet, once we've demonized others, we can insult and abuse them if we want. That's self-justification for our behavior. Like, well, they deserve it. You know? Clever stories keep us from acknowledging our own sellouts. By now, it should be clear that clever stories cause us problems. A reasonable question at this point is, if they're so terribly hurtful, why do we ever tell clever stories? Our need to tell clever stories often starts with our own sellouts. Like it or not, we usually don't begin telling stories that justify our actions until we have done something that we feel a need to justify. We sell out when we consciously act against our own sense of what's right. And after we've sold out, we have only 2 choices: own up to our sellout or try to justify it. And if we don't admit to our errors, we inevitably look for ways to justify them. That's when we begin to tell clever stories. Yeah. And so I super thought that was interesting, because it does tie into something that I was reading in the Dream Body and Relationships the other day. And like our primary and secondary reactions about, like, yeah, sometimes we're not very aware of certain things, of our traditional reactions or traditional responses or signal reactions to certain things or to certain stimuli, certain words, certain symbols, certain identities. Yeah. And so sellouts are often not big events. In fact, they can be so small that they're easy for us to overlook when we're crafting our clever stories. Here are some common ones. So you believe that you should help someone, but you don't. You believe you should apologize, but you don't. You believe you should stay late to finish up on a commitment, but go home instead. You say yes when you know you should say no, then you hope no one follows up to see if you keep your commitment. Something's happening.